This is a large security breach. Here, an individual located in Seattle had hacked into an unsecure server that Capital One maintained and was able to access these records. And this is a unique situation in that we'd actually caught the person who was the perpetrator or the alleged perpetrator. The FBI arrested the individual and has brought charges against the individual. We're learning more about the breach. As between a company and their service provider, they will have a contract, which will determine who's liable. As between the company and their consumers, it's a mixture of their agreements with those consumers and applicable laws. And regulators will bring enforcement actions against companies that have security breaches for violating various laws. There are more laws out there now that require companies to maintain reasonable security. New York has a new law, the SHIELD Act, which requires companies to maintain reasonable security. Massachusetts was a trendsetter in this area. And some states, such as Ohio, actually put in place a safe harbor so that if a company had reasonable security procedures, yet still had a breach, they might not be liable for that breach. And the class action lawsuits will happen. The New York Attorney General has already announced that she's opening an investigation, and we have 50 states, so there are 50 attorney generals. So it can be quite expensive for a company when this happens. From the consumer's perspective, you certainly feel rather helpless, because if you want a credit card, if you want a mortgage, you're going to have to apply, and you're going to have to share sensitive personal information. What you can say to a consumer about this is just be vigilant, choose your service providers wisely, and ask questions. You're the consumer, so you should be critical of your service providers. If they're asking for certain information, ask why they need it. Maybe look at their privacy practices, look at their history. But again, consumers feel kind of helpless because to function in today's society, you need to provide this information to get certain products and services.